Legend of Vlad the Impaler, Dracula's Curse. In the shadowed heart of 15th century Wallachia, a land torn between empires and haunted by superstition, there rose a ruler whose name would bleed into eternity. His name was Vlad Țepeș the Impaler, son of Vlad Dracula. And though history remembers him as a prince, legend transformed him into something darker. To the world he became Dracula, the city of fear. Imagine the streets of Brasov at dusk. The market square falls silent as merchants pull their carts away, the last flicker of daylight dying behind the Carpathian peaks. Smoke from the hearths clings low to the cobblestones. Mothers clutch their children, pulling them inside, while church bells toll as if to drive away unseen spirits. For in these streets, people whisper of their prince. They speak not with pride, but with trembling lips. Some tell of soldiers vanishing into the night, only to be found impaled along the city walls, their bodies twisted in eternal screams. Others swear they have seen cloaked riders pass through the fog, their eyes burning red like embers. In Brasov, even the bravest men refuse to walk alone after dark. At every corner, they feel it, a presence, as if unseen eyes watch from the shadows, waiting. The reign of terror. Vlad Țepeș ruled not with parchment and crown, but with terror carved into flesh. His enemies did not face exile, nor the mercy of chains. They faced the stake. The chronicles describe entire forests of the impaled. Invading armies marching proudly into his lands would stumble upon valleys where thousands of bodies swayed like grotesque fruit upon sharpened poles. Birds circled above, the stench of decay thick as fog. Some soldiers dropped their weapons and fled, believing they had marched into hell itself. To his people, he was both savior and executioner. To his enemies, he was no man, but a monster cloaked in human skin. And yet, cruelty was only the beginning of the story. Whispers of blood. At banquets, Vlad dined like any prince, but whispers spread that his golden goblet did not hold wine alone. Soldiers swore they had seen him dip bread into bowls filled with blood, the blood of his victims, consuming it with cold indifference. Truth or rumor, it did not matter. The image of a ruler feasting upon blood was enough to brand him with an eternal mark. From that moment, he was no longer just a tyrant. He was Dracula, the drinker of life. The pact with darkness. Stories spread faster than plague. Villagers claimed Vlad had struck a bargain with the devil himself. Some said the pact was sealed when he was still a prisoner of the Ottomans, where shadows whispered to him in the silence of stone cells. Others believed his cruelty was proof that something ancient lived within him, feeding on his soul, demanding sacrifice. At night, peasants barred their doors and clutched wooden crosses. They swore that beyond the hills, in the forests where even wolves dared not prowl, their prince walked after death, pale, unblinking, his cloak dragging through the soil as he sought blood to sustain his cursed life. The castle of shadows, perched upon a cliff, his fortress rose like a fang against the night sky. Bran Castle, though historians debate if it was truly his home, became forever tied to his legend. Its towers seemed to pierce the heavens, and its windows burned with ghostly fire. Travelers approaching after sundown claimed they heard screams carried by the wind, though no one could say if they were of the living or the damned. Inside, the halls whispered. Tapestries moved without wind. Candles guttered, though no one passed. Servants swore that shadows stretched longer than they should. And sometimes, when they turned, they found themselves staring into eyes that glowed like coals in the dark. And then there was the tomb. When centuries passed and his supposed grave was opened, there were no bones, no body, only emptiness, as if Vlad himself had risen and walked away. The curse lives on. The legend did not die with the man. Across Europe, his name spread like fire. Vlad the Impaler became more than history. He became the first vampire. In Germany, pamphlets were printed describing his horrors in lurid detail. In Hungary, mothers used his name to frighten their children. And as the centuries turned, the myth grew larger than the truth. Even now in Transylvania, they say the curse lingers. On stormy nights when thunder rolls across the Carpathians, a rider cloaked in black is seen on the ridges. Horses rear and refuse to move. Dogs howl in terror. Those who meet the rider's gaze return pale, hollow, their spirit drained, if they return at all. A glimpse beyond time. But the darkest tale is this: Dracula is not bound to the past. Some believe he still walks. In the quiet hours before dawn, travelers along mountain roads swear they have seen him, a tall figure, his cloak billowing though no wind blows, his face pale as moonlight. They say if you follow him, he will lead you to the ruins of his castle. The gates creak open by unseen hands, and within those walls, time itself collapses. You will see torches burning as they did centuries ago. You will hear the cries of the dying. You will smell the iron tang of blood, fresh and endless. And if you do not turn back, if you step across the threshold of his great hall, you may find him waiting, not as a ghost, not as memory, but as a prince eternal, seated upon a throne of stone, eyes blazing red, lips curved in a cruel smile. In that moment, you will understand the truth. Vlad Țepeș never died. He waits, he feeds, and he remembers. The eternal question. So who was Vlad the Impaler? A mortal prince who defended his homeland with merciless justice, or a monster who transcended death, cursed to walk forever in shadow? History cannot decide, but every whisper in the dark, every flicker of fear when you walk alone at night, every tale of a pale figure who drinks the blood of the living, they all carry his name. Dracula, a prince, a monster, an immortal curse, and perhaps even now he walks among us